Hey, welcome to the Nursing Dose with your host, Farah Dr. Laurent. I'm not feeling the best today. My voice is a little bit, going away. But as promised, I am always coming on live a couple times a week to share tips for new graduate nurses on how to land your dream job. But today, I want to talk to you about the 5 reasons why you're not landing your dream role, right? As a new graduate nurse. And there's 5 reasons why this is not happening. So many nurses come to me all the time and they're like, Farah, do you have tips for me on how to land my dream role, right? So I get this question all the time. So for those who don't know me, I've been a nurse career coach for the last 4 years, helping nurses all over the US and Canada, over 100 nurses land their dream role in specialty areas like the emergency department and the ICU. Okay. And I've developed multiple frameworks and program one on one coaching, teaching them the secrets that basically recruiters and hiring managers will not tell you. Okay. So let's get into it. And we're going to go quickly through these 5 reasons. Okay. Number one reason why you're not getting your dream role is because you are confused. You are confused, you lack clarity, and you lack clarity in your messaging. So many of you are giving off desperate energy, right? So you may have graduated just recently, maybe in the last couple weeks or the last couple months, and you feel like, oh my goodness, I need to get a job right now. And you have this sense of urgency that's causing you to put off this desperate energy. Okay. So whether you're talking to recruiters or you're in the interview process, you're just giving desperate energy. And that is not what you need. Okay. What you need is to have a sense of confidence, assurance, and just showing up like they need you more than you need them. Okay. And the other part of that confusion lies in listening to other people or listening to negativity. So let's say you want to be an emergency nurse, or let's say an L&D nurse or a critical care nurse. And your family starts talking to you, your friends start talking to you, and they're like, you know what? You can't get that right out of school. So why don't you just settle just for any job? Right. And it starts, you know, weighing heavy on yourself. And then let's say you get one rejection. All of a sudden you start doubting yourself. You're like, you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe I don't belong in ICU right away. Maybe I should just go to med surge for a couple years. Or maybe I should start in a long-term care facility when you know that's not what you want. You want to be in the hospital setting, or maybe you want to be right in L&D. So you start getting confused, right? And then you start applying to like 55 jobs. So now recruiter is looking at your application at hospital X and they're like, oh, look, Samantha is interested in ICU, L&D, NICU, med-surg, psych, PACU. Like, what's going on, right? They're confused. So because you're confused, you're putting off confusing energy and desperate energy. So we want to stay away from that. Okay. So where does that come from? Like I said, negativity, and it comes from a scarcity mindset. So what I want you to do as a new nurse is to get clarity on what it is that you really want to do and stick to that. Be confident. Reframe your mindset. You will get that position because you are meant for it. Okay. So this is what I do with my clients. I help them with mindset. So one of my clients actually came to me, had that same exact issue. She's like, well, I just want any job and I'll just settle for anything. But she really wanted critical care. But she's like, oh, it's okay. I'll work med surge or even in a nursing home. And I'm like, no, no, no. We're not doing that, right? We're going to get clear. We're going to strategize, have an action plan, and go for what it is that you want. Okay. So that's number one. If you happen to be watching, let me know what city, what country you're watching from. Drop it in the chat. Any comments or questions you have, drop it in the chat. And if you want to learn how to get clear on your job search journey to finding the best nurse residency program for you or getting that dream role that you really want, just DM me, direct message me, or drop dream role in the chat and make sure to connect with me. Okay. So that's number one. You need to get clear and in alignment with what it is that you really want to do and go for it. And stop applying to all the jobs. Okay, number two. The second reason that you're not landing your dream role, okay, is because you sound like everybody else and you look like everybody else. So what do I mean by that? So as a new nurse, a lot of times you just go on Google, type in resume, cover letter, and you're basically getting the same generic information that everybody else is looking up. So you're submitting your resume and cover letter, and it looks and sounds generic, just like everybody else. So this is why you're not standing out. Also, you're not probably including keywords, and you may be sending the same resume and the same cover letter to multiple hospital systems, right? But you need to tailor your cover letter and your resume. So that's one aspect. You may not even be getting to the interview stage, and that's a problem. But that's what I do with my nurses. One particular nurse that I worked with, her name is Brittany, and she was in the California area. And all my clients in the California area always say, oh, it's so competitive here in the Bay Area or just in general in Cali, and I can't even get an interview. So Brittany, she wanted a mother baby position. And I think she was looking for it was at least over 6 months, potentially more. And she told me she put in over 100 applications and kept getting rejected. And now she was just looking for any job. And she's like, Farah, I just want to work anywhere because I'm losing hope. I'm feeling discouraged. I really want mother baby, but I don't think it's going to happen. And I was like, no. Let's fix this. So literally worked on her resume and cover letter with her so she could stand out and gave her a strategy so she could really be confident in the interview process. She literally slayed that interview and got a same day offer. And she was shocked herself. She was like, oh my goodness, this is the ideal hospital I wanted to work at. They gave her day shift on a mother baby unit. And that was so important to her because she was a mom and she wanted to work day shift. So I was so happy when she told me. She was literally almost in tears because she got what she wanted. And it took so long, but because she worked with me, we worked through all that clarity, made sure she stood out, didn't sound and look like everybody else, literally down to her outfit. We worked that out, right? Because I don't know who told you what professional looks like, but everybody seems to be showing up in the interviews with the same boring black suit and everybody looks the same, right? So you need to be able to infuse some of your personality in your fashion, like what you're wearing, because you have to dress literally to stand out, especially for my new graduate nurses that are on panel interviews, right? It's important to stand out. So back to Brittany, she also made, I think it was 165K as a new grad in mother baby. So this is what I'm sharing. It is possible, and you can get what it is that you want. The other thing, you don't want to sound scripted like everybody else, and you don't want to have the same cookie cutter boring answers. Which brings me to number three of why you're not landing that nursing dream role. Okay. Number three is, as a new nurse, you are not prepared. You think that you can just go into the interview and just wing it, but you're not prepared. Clinically, they're going to ask you questions that is going to assess your clinical knowledge. They're going to ask you behavioral style questions. Like, if you're in this situation, what would you do? Or they're going to ask you, tell me a time when, and if you don't have a series of stories to display and demonstrate how you basically met that skill, or whatever attribute or trait they're looking for, and you keep, they ask you and you're like, I'm not sure, I'm thinking about it, let me think, you're not prepared. And this is why you're getting passed over and you're not going to the next stage, and you're not getting this dream role that you want, because you're not taking it seriously. A lot of new grads think they could just go in and wing it, and then they get there and they get so overwhelmed, especially in a panel style interview where there's multiple candidates. And one of the things that new nurses get stuck on is the question when they say, tell me about yourself. And then you don't know how to answer that. You start rambling and rambling on. Your answer is not organized. So this is what I do with my clients. We craft an interview pitch, a specific pitch that's crafted so that you can highlight your skills, your past experience in a way that stands out, that you deliver with confidence and enthusiasm, right? And you're not rambling all over the place, and you're literally answering most of the questions that they have for you, so that you eliminate most of the questions they have. And they're like, oh, wow, like Farah really came prepared to this interview, right? That's how you want to start your interview, with the interview pitch. And that's what I do with my clients, is I get you prepared to present yourself in a way where you blow the interviewer away. Okay? And that starts in the interview pitch. We work through your stories, so we organize them, and you have a set of stories that you're able to pull from whatever questions they ask. Okay? So that's number three. And then number four, why are you not landing these positions in your dream role? Is because you're not promoting yourself enough in the interview. You're not bragging about yourself, and you're not enthusiastic and charismatic in the interview. Okay, I understand not everybody is the most extroverted or, super confident, but that's something that you need to work on. You can't show up to the interview not wanting to talk and being very shy and introverted. You need to be able to express and articulate why you are the correct person for this role and the only choice for this role. And you do that through self-promotion, articulating your value, right? And being able to show that and express that with enthusiasm for the role. Okay? So it's okay to brag about yourself. I say this all the time. And I ask my nurses, I'm like, do you want the job? Or do you want the next nurse who comes in for the interview to like scoop it up, right? So you're simply stating facts. You're simply just articulating why you should be for that role. So a quick example, if you're a critical care nurse, then you need to highlight your specific skills for being a critical care nurse. That means having great assessment skills, prioritizing care, being able to pay attention to detail and minor changes in people's condition so you can escalate and take action quickly, right? Collaborating with the team, being able to take initiative. Those are all traits and skills that you need as a critical care nurse, whether you're in the ICU setting or in the emergency care setting, right? So you really have to be able to speak to your strengths. Um, and like I said, there's nothing like the delivery. Okay. So I worked with a nurse who was super introverted. She was from New York. She wanted to work in an oncology setting. Um, and she was so shy to the point where it's like she didn't really want to like talk about herself, her strengths, her certifications. We worked through all of that. She had an interview and they literally gave her a job offer, I think like 3 days later. And within 2 weeks of working with me, she landed her dream role. And that was it. And that was a wrap. And she was someone who was very introverted, but we worked through that and she was able to present herself with confidence and promote herself. Okay. So that was number 4. Number 5, the reason you're not landing your dream role is because you're not investing in yourself. Okay. And what do I mean by that? Investing in yourself in multiple ways. Okay. So clearly, the number one thing you need to invest in is your education and your professional development. So, clear example, I was working with a nurse, her name is Jamie. She wanted to get a job in L&D and she was so determined and was like, I really want this job. She did not play games. We talked about it. She got her NRP, her ACLS, did her fetal heart monitoring, basically all the things. She joined AWAN, which is the Association for Women's Health and Neonatal Nurses, so that she came ready and prepared and on paper looked like a great candidate. And same thing in the interview. She invested in herself, right? Second thing she did, she also invested in me as her career coach, right? And if you think about it, it's insignificant, the investment that she made. She was able to secure a 6-figure, right, salary in California. And I'm talking really high, like 175K to work at this hospital in California. But it's not even just the money, even though the money is great, right? But she was able to land a day shift position in her dream specialty. So, of course, it's transformative. Like, that is amazing for a new nurse, right? Going from making nothing as a nursing student to making 175K working your dream role. Like, what's better than that, right? So, she made the investment, like I said, to hire me as her nurse career coach. And I was so thrilled to work with her. The third way that she made an investment is, of course, back to the fashion. We talked about how she would show up to her first interview. So she actually was a redhead. And I was like, you know what? If you wear a green suit, it's going to be fire. You're going to look so great. So she got this really nice green suit. She showed up. And of course, everybody else was wearing black or gray. So literally, she stood out because she wore a different color. It made her more confident. She got complimented on it. So she literally stood out because she invested in herself, right? So don't think I'm just going to wear this like old raggedy suit or whatever. And you don't even have to wear a suit if you don't feel confident in it, but please invest in your outfit. Even in your hair, your makeup, there's proven research that shows the better you look, the more of a chance that you're going to get hired and actually make more money. It's proven research, right? And then obviously the other way is she invested her time, right? Invested her time in networking, going on LinkedIn, and really implementing the strategies that I told her to do on LinkedIn, reaching out to recruiters in that proactive manner in the job search, because it's not just about applying and sitting back. Okay, so I shared, Jamie's success story because I think it's just so important for new nurses to see that you don't have to be discouraged. You don't have to feel desperate. If you are in alignment with what it is that you want and you know that you really want it, it's going to happen, right? But you need to make that investment in yourself and hire me as a nurse career coach. I will guide you through this process with ease, be there to support you and guide you through this process. And like I said, you don't have to listen to me. You can literally go on my LinkedIn or my website, nursefair.com. You'll see video testimonials, written testimonials of past clients that I worked with. And I've worked with over 100 nurses, helping them land their dream role. So if you're tired of getting rejections, getting overlooked, not sure how to prepare for interviews, nervous, don't know how to show up confidently, I got you. All you have to do is literally message me, dream role, just text me. Not text me, you know my number, but you know what I mean. Inbox me, direct message me, dream role, and just connect with me. And we can get on a call and you can learn more on how to work with me and how to land your dream role. So if this was helpful, please let me know. And again, I will be sharing more content for new graduate nurses. Congratulations on all of you who've passed your NCLEX, who's graduated. It's an amazing journey. I want you to be excited entering the nursing force, and I want you to be supported throughout the way. You don't have to do this alone, and there's nothing wrong with getting a little bit of guidance, but you need to take action and take that first step. Message me and I will take you to that next level so that you can actually land your dream role. Because you don't want to keep interviewing, and then like nothing is happening, right? You want to be able to hit a home run and get that dream role that you really want. Okay. So if this is resonating with you, please message me. Please share this with someone else that you think it might be helpful for, especially if it's a new nurse that you may know in your life, or, just reshare this post. This will be very helpful for all the new graduate nurses out there. Okay. So please subscribe to my newsletter. I just dropped a newsletter, the New Bold Nurse newsletter. And then I also have another newsletter called Nurses Making Money Moves. You could subscribe to both. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Nursing Dose with Farah. And like I said, just direct message me, say hello. Let me know if this was helpful. And if you're watching the replay, same thing. Put any comments or questions that you may have in the chat. That's it for me today. I will see you soon. Take care. Again, Dr. Farah Laurent, founder of International